Tun Abdul Razak bin Dato Hussein is a name that will be engraved in the pages of history, parallel to the rise of a nation called Malaysia. In his era, the nation saw a very rapid pace of development and economic activities accelerated in every sector. Tun Abdul Razak was born on 11th March 1922 in Kampung Keladi, Rau, Pahang. He was the eldest child of Hussein, an officer in the Raub district office. His mother was Fatima. Abdul Razak began his education at age 6 in his hometown in Jambu Langa. He had to walk a distance of more than 1 mile to attend the vernacular school in the morning. In the afternoon, he attended the religious school. On the 3rd of March 1930, his father was conferred the title Orang Kaya Indra Shah Banda, which carried the title Dato. In discharging his official duties, his father frequently had to deal with the palace and its customs. Consequently, Abdul Razak was exposed to the life of Malay nobility and royalty. In 1934, Abdul Razak continued his study at the Malay College in Kuala Kangsar. He performed very well and was promoted to Class 3 in his second-year studies. He was a very active student and was appointed head boy as well as house captain. In 1940, Razak enrolled at Raffles College to continue his study at the diploma level for 3 years. There he became a member of the Muslim Society and met many friends and former students of Cambridge University, Oxford University, graduates from the Middle East and Sultan Idris Teachers College. His studies were interrupted by the Japanese occupation of Malaya in 1942. He returned to his hometown in Batu Langa, learned Japanese, and was appointed a clerk in the Bentung district office. The Japanese then sent him to Singapore for 6 months for a course. Upon his return, he was appointed as the Japanese administrative officer for Temerloh. Shortly after, he worked as a teacher prior to being appointed senior officer in the State Propaganda Office in Kuala Lumpur. In 1945, Abdul Razak joined the Territorial Army, which was secretly supported by the Pahang Sultan to oppose the Japanese. His position as senior state propaganda officer enabled him to pass on information on the Japanese to his agent Ghazali Shafi'i. On 13th July 1946, Abdul Razak began to read law at the University of London and in 1949 enrolled at the Cambridge University to study economics and public administration. It was while in England that Abdul Razak met Tunku Abdul Rahman and became interested in politics. He was elected secretary of the Malay Union of Great Britain. Tunku was its president. Upon his return from England in 1950, he inherited the title of Orang Kaya Indra Shah Banda upon his father's demise. In 1951, at age 29, he was elected UMNO Deputy President. This enabled him to become a member of Malaya's Federal Legislative Council. He married Raha binti Haji Noah from Johor in 1952 and was blessed with his eldest son, Muhammad Najib, in 1953. 2 years later, he was appointed Acting Menteri Besar of Pahang. In the 1955 federal elections, Dato Abdul Razak contested in Semantan, representing UMNO and the Alliance Party. The Alliance won big, and Dato Abdul Razak was appointed Education Minister in the new cabinet headed by Chief Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman. As Education Minister, he put forward the Razak Report in 1956. This report would form the basis of the national education system. In 1956, he joined the team headed by Tunku Abdul Rahman, which was formed to negotiate independence for Malaya. He chaired the committee that drafted the independence proposal. Malaya's independence was declared in 1957. In the new cabinet formed after independence, Dr. Abdul Razak was appointed Deputy Prime Minister in addition to being responsible for the Defence and Home Affairs portfolios. As Defence Minister and Home Affairs Minister, he helped solve many interracial problems as well as fought the activities of the Communist Party. In October 1959, Abdul Razak was appointed Minister of National and Rural Development. The function of the ministry was to uplift the living standards in the rural areas and fight poverty. It was during this era that he introduced such policies as the Red Book policy and institutions like Felcra, Felda, Mara and Bank Bumiputra, among others. His tireless effort in improving the economic well-being of the people endeared him to them, especially the rural Malays. As such, he was accorded the title Father of Development. He was also conferred the title Tun. Following the 1969 federal elections and the bloody May 13th aftermath, the nation was placed under emergency rule with Tun Razak as head of National Operation Council or Mageran with absolute powers. When the emergency ended a year later, he relinquished all his power to Tunku Abdul Rahman, the Prime Minister. When Tunku stepped down in 1971, Tun Abdul Razak was appointed Malaysia's second Prime Minister. A year later, he put forward the new economic policy, a progressive policy known throughout the world, whose objective was to eradicate poverty and redress the economic imbalance of the Malaysian society. He also formed the National Advisory Council, whose purpose was to enable dialogue between the different races in the country and to find means to strengthen and perpetuate racial harmony based on a system of parliamentary democracy. This dialogue was intended to prepare a practical and positive platform for interracial cooperation and integration. He also formed the Barisan Nasional, or the National Front, comprised of UMNO, MCA, MIC, former opposition parties like PAS, Gerakan, PPP, and political parties in Sabah and Sarawak such as PBB, USNO, and SNAP, in order to realize greater political cooperation with opposition parties. Unfortunately, his desire to witness the success of all his political and economic policies, especially the Barisan Nasional and the new economic policy, and integration among the races, would be unfulfilled. He died of leukemia in London in 1976 at 53.